Every anime tells a story. Some makes us laugh, some makes us cry. But today, I have ranking every anime I ever watched. So, let's get started. Misfit at Demon Academy, I really wanted to like. But from beginning to end, it just felt boring, bland, and repetitive. The only thing I liked about this anime is Anno's Voted Gold. Outside of that, there's really nothing to it. It's just a demon king, sorry, demon lord, being resurrected 2,000 years into the future, where he just does his normal thing. Really, nothing else to it. Eden Zero. Eden Zero is one of those animes where I felt no satisfaction at all. I don't know why. I like Fairy Tail. It holds a special place in my heart. I'll get to that later. But Eden Zero just didn't do it for me. I didn't even want to bother watching season 2, and I didn't because I just felt it was boring. Rising is Shield Hero. Now, this one hurts because I really enjoyed season 1 and 2. I honestly in the minority where I say I like season 2, but hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy on YouTube just ranking animes. But no, the reason why it's down here so low is honestly because season 3 and 4, I'm gonna say it, they're a disgrace to the show. Season 3 is so forgettable that I genuinely cannot remember anything that happens in it. And season 4, I literally stopped watching like halfway through because of the way the reasonings behind them. Oh, I can't. The reasonings behind them makes no sense. Because here's an example. They went to the kingdom. They stayed for like 5 or 6 episodes. Then they went back to the village. Then came back to board the ship that they came to originally get. Why? And that genuinely made me so pissed that I just could not watch any further. And plus, on top of that, it feels like now for me just generally just lack character development as well. But yeah, so this is where I'm gonna place it. Higurashi When They Cry. Now, the beginning of this, I liked. Very good horror anime at the beginning. But then you realize, okay, yeah, it's just getting the same thing over and over again. That made me eventually just stop watching it because I knew what was going to happen each and single time. Yes, it's gory and graphic, but deep down, I just knew it was going to be the exact same thing. Lucky Star. The only reason why I watched this anime is just because of the opening. It was very catchy, and I actually listened to it on occasion, but outside of that, there's really nothing special to it. There's like it's one of those animes where I'm fine not watching it again. High Rise Invasion, another anime where I mean it was okay, I guess. Don't really remember much about it. I mean, I remember them being on like a high on the skyscrapers, and there was a sniper guy. There's nothing memorable about it, so let's just move on. Asterisk War. So here's the thing. I remember really liking this anime when I watched it. The reason I put this down so low is that it might just because there's no second season. Or sorry, at least not another season. My apologies. Because I remember there was something about the main character being limited to like his powers, and then he went to school to find his missing sister. That was just a cool like premise, but outside of that, unless it somehow it gets another season, I can't put it any higher. Guilty Crown. So I will say from this point forward, the any of these animes I would honestly watch again. Either with my dad or my friends. I would definitely watch it again. And Guilty Crown is the first one of those. Now, the first half I really liked. The second half fell off. It's kind of like the depiction of like that meme of the horse. Like the first half is like flaming, and then the second half is just like not drawn. That's what it felt like to me. Both Theory, I don't want to get hurt, so I maxed out my defense. This is a anime where I will describe another very popular anime that looks like they're getting canceled. This is one of those animes where you can just turn off your brain and just enjoy it. If you do that, it's just a fun anime to watch. Look, the only reason why I like it is because, look, the main character, she's OP to the point where you don't even need to worry about her dying at all. Like, literally, one of the main plot points is her actually taking damage. Like, what? Outside of that, just turn off your brain, and it's a good anime. Asteroid in Love. So this is one of the only astronomy animes I watched, and I enjoyed it. Now, little fact about me, I always enjoyed astronomy when I was a kid. So I knew I always gonna like this anime. This is just a one-in-the-middle slice of life about finding a asteroid, keeping a promise to a friend. There's really nothing else to it. Just give it a watch. Akudama Drive. So, when I watched this originally, I said this. It has the animation of Attack on Titan, but the setting of Cyberpunk. Now, for me personally, it's a jack of all trades and master of none. This anime is just a one-in-the-middle sci-fi where a group of criminals join up and do a dangerous job that would then a push result in nearly everybody dying. Kind of like Suicide Squad in a way, but with much more dangerous villains and criminals. Fairy Tail. So this anime will always hold a special place in my heart. I remember always watching it with my dad. He loves it, so no matter what, I always watch it with him. But the main thing is just because of this one thing. The power of friendship! They use it so much that it got so tiring. That's like the real reason why this is down here so low. Like the majority of the Ox in Fairy Tail, I quite enjoyed it. Our Last Crusade or The Rise of a New World. I still need to watch season 2 because I kept on putting it in the back burner. So I'll probably do that next. I remember once again, this is an anime where I remember quite liking a lot. Because the premise was cool. A swordsman and a witch fighting at different sides of the war, and they fell in love. But since they're on separate sides, they can't go be a couple. But they want to. I just think that's a cool premise. The Day I Became a God. Now, here's the thing. I'm one of those people where I enjoy emotional animes. You will see later on my list. And for me personally, I think this is probably the worst out of the emotional animes I watched, at least in my opinion. The reason why is, like, to be fair, I just felt like this whole second half, like, I felt sad, but at the same time, I just didn't feel anything past that. The plot was depressing, obviously, but outside of that, it was just okay.
The promise never and I are so weak and useless that we can't get by without you three protecting us. If it was only
the first season, it'll be way up on my list. I enjoyed it so much.
Actually relying on us.
But it was just the second season.
I know we're not nearly as smart as you guys.
Because it took out the majority of things in the manga, even help representation in the final episode. Who enjoys that? But anyway, I will say, if you just watch the first season, for me personally, it is a near perfect non-jump scare horror anime. Each episode has suspense. Each episode leaves you questioning. And I just love that. Akami ga Kill. The first episode was really shocking. And to be fair, every character dying was not on my bingo card, but like to be fair, I'm fine with the ending of the anime. I know a lot of people are not, and that's why they don't like this anime, but I don't mind it. Yes, they probably could have done it a different way, but I was fine with it. Not have no complaints about it. Hyuga, it's just a slice of life about a group of friends just solving mysteries each episode. There's really nothing else to it. Tokyo Revengers, I didn't watch season 3. I watched season 1 and 2. I enjoyed it. To like the plot of a time traveler going back in time to join a gang, getting into these gang fights. That's a really cool concept. And the characters are really cool. But past that, I can't put any higher because I heard that the people don't like season 3. I don't know why. Maybe I should watch it. Fate / Grand Order Babylonia. So here's the thing. Gilgamesh is my favorite Fate character. I always enjoyed how cocky he is and all that. So I thought I was gonna like this, and I did for the most part. But past that, I mean, it was good. I'll definitely watch it again, but I can't put it higher. I just don't know why. I just can't. Oh boy. Time to be cancelled for my for this pick. ReZero. Wait. Put down the pitchforks. Let me explain. Look, I don't see why people like this anime. Look, yeah, it's good, but it's not the greatest isekai of all time, in my opinion. Now, I find Subaru quite annoying at times, and I'm constantly lost in the plot. Let's see. The characters I quite enjoy. It's just the plot and Subaru for me personally. I don't know why. I know this is everybody's favorite isekai. You know, they die on this hill scene. It's like the greatest isekai of all time. Not for me. Do you see what's my favorite isekai? Is way up later in the list. And past that, I think ReZero was overrated. Fate Zero. So this is the first Fate I watched, and I quite enjoyed it. The fights were very entertaining, and the lore I caught on quite quickly. But look, just a fair warning for the people that want to watch Fate. It's very confusing to get into, but it's rewarding. Assassination Classroom. So the ending was very emotional, but everything before that, it felt like it was slowly building up to it, but at times it just felt like it was dragging on. It honestly felt like there was like a bunch of filler and stuff like that. But the ending is definitely emotional and oof. Seven Deadly Sins. Now the first 2 3 seasons, depending on you watch it, because for some reason Netflix season 2 only has the 4 episodes, and then it goes to Revival of the Commandments. I don't know why, but it's really good. But starting from season 4, which is what I'm basing off of Netflix, it's just because of the animation. Now, outside of that, I love the plot, I love the characters, I love the setting. It's just the animation. That's the reason why I can't put it higher. So, Isekai Quartet is one of those animes where you can just watch it all within one day. If you enjoy animes like Konosuba, ReZero, Overlord, and Tanya the Evil, you're definitely gonna enjoy this because it was really cool seeing like all those characters interact with each other. like seeing like how Aqua like interacts with Ainz, or how the Subaru and Kazuma interact, since they're both almost the same people. It's like those kind of like connections that are I just love, and you never get that, and you will probably never will. Highly recommend. Don. The anime starts out weird, but then once you get past the weird parts, which I don't know if I can say, but pretty much the premise is about, hey, does Ghost and Alien exist? Hey, look at that, they do. And that's just a very fun concept. Alright, time to get cancelled again. Solo Leveling. Look, don't get me wrong. Solo Leveling is a great anime to turn off your brain and just watch. Look, but the main reason why it's down this slow is the lack of character development and storytelling. Now, here's the thing. Should I have won anime of the year? Hell no. Like I said, it's a good anime, don't get me wrong. But, look, here's the thing. Oh boy, time to get cancelled again. Solo Leveling. Now, don't get me wrong. Solo Leveling is a great anime to turn off your brain and just watch. But the main thing that brings it down to slow, at least right now in the anime, because I read the manga, is the lack of character development and storytelling. The fight scenes are amazing to watch, but for me personally, I'm just gonna say it since right now in the middle. I love a good story. If there's not a good story, I'm not gonna get interested as easily. And plus on top of that, the main character, Jinru, he constantly ore farms, and yeah, that's fine if you do it once in a while, but it's constant. Like, give it a break already. Stop ore farming. Let's see, Blue Exorcist. To be fair, the reason why I put this higher than Soul Leveling is just because I just enjoyed the story more. Like, come on. A devil wanting to become an exorcist. like, to be fair, that sounds like a cool premise than Soul Leveling, in my opinion. Consensual Quintuplets. This is the anime that I didn't expect to enjoy as much as I have, but honestly, I always enjoyed it. And Miku's the best girl. Thank you very much. I literally have a mouse pad, which I'll put what it looks like on screen. It's about, this tutor that has been asked to pretty much tutor five daughters of a witch dad, and they all fall in love with him, but he has to choose one of them. That's pretty much the whole point. Now, who? Watch the anime and find out. Fire Force. Now, same thing like Blue Exorcist about fighting demons, and then like these firefighters. They have to exorcise these demons from before they ignite even more. Really cool. Outside of that, nothing special. Sword Art Online. Now, I'm in the minority, but I honestly enjoyed this anime from beginning to the end. The only thing I didn't like was Alpine arc, but other than that, everything else, I think it was really good. I don't understand the hate. And Alicization arc, in season 3 or 4, very underrated, and I don't hear anybody talking about it. Like, the animation's so good, the story I love. Horimiya. This is the most recent anime I finished. Horimiya is a great anime if you want to watch a comedy romance. Nearly every episode I laughed out loud. The one main gripe I had was the ending, because it honestly felt like they could have done a lot more, go on longer, but because, for example, I just want to see them graduate, but they just showed it and that was it. Because I want to see, they all go up on stage, grab their diplomas, I wanted to see that, but I guess not. Spy Family. Once again, another anime I watched with my dad, so it'll hold a special place in my heart. I quite enjoyed this anime. The comedy is great. You know, Lloyd trying to hide the fact he's a spy. You're trying to hide she's an assassin. You know, and like just trying to constantly hide from each other, and it's very wholesome too. You know, because here's it, they're not a real family. Like Anya was adopted. Lloyd asked Yor to be his wife, like as soon as they met. They're not a real family, and Lloyd has to do that for his mission. But I have a feeling that this he's gonna retire from being a spy to continue being in this family, and I really hope that's the case because they're amazing. My Dress Up Darling. This anime is either you hate it or love it. I personally love it. Just like for me personally, I love behind the scenes of things. It doesn't matter what, like if it's like on like for like a video game or etc. This is just showing behind the scenes of cosplay, and I just find that fascinating. That's the reason why it's up here. Demon Slayer. All right, third time to be cancelled. Put down the pitchforks again. Look, the best part about Demon Slayer is the animation and fights. Hands down, some of the best animations I've ever seen. But just like Solo Leveling, the storytelling is mid. All of it is that Tanjiro wants to turn Nezu back to human. That is the only downside I have to Demon Slayer. And like I said, the only reason why it's here is Solo Leveling. I just like the animation more. Even I don't like the story in either of them. My Hero Academia. Now, this anime is very popular. We all heard of it. Now, for me personally, it just gets better as the seasons go on. Like, the first 3 seasons, I found quite boring. Then season 4, I'm like, oh. Then season 5, oh. Then it just gets better and better over time. And by the time I got to season 7, I was fully invested. Bleach. Bleach has aged like fine wine. Even though it came out almost 20 years ago. I'm also looping Blood War into this. It holds a special place, still holds up to this day. The world is quite complex with different races like humans, hollows, etc. Now, the main reason why it's down here is because of the filler. Now, you can skip the filler, but here's the thing. A good anime, you can watch filler and still love it. Now, every filler in Bleach is horrible in my opinion. But outside of that, if you just, let's say for example, you just cut out the fillers, it's really good. Highly recommend. Tomoe-chan is a girl. Listen, gonna be honest, this anime had me laughing near the episode. The characters were lively. And you always want their emotions. You always want to know what's next, etc., etc. Angel Beats. Now, another anime that holds a special place in my heart. This is the first anime I ever watched. If we're not counting Pokemon, which I am not for this tier list or video, whichever you want to call it, because we all watch Pokemon. We also watch Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day, so. That's why I'm not including it. So outside of that, Angel Beats is the first anime I watched. This anime is very emotional because it revolves around passing on to the next life by remembering yourself, essentially. The fact that it only has 1 season and it just pulls on your heartstrings really gets me. Anohana, the flower we saw that day. Yeah, if you guys haven't noticed, this is kind of the section where I talk about the emotional animes. And I think this is one of them where I think I cried the most, if I'm being honest. This anime is beautiful. I cried, a lot to it. I'll admit, I'm a man. So here's the thing. This anime will hit you especially hard if you lost somebody. Which I guarantee you the majority of my viewers have. It sucks. but this, if you have this anime, will devastate you. This anime is beautifully crafted, and I remember, like, you know, like sitting there just like speechless because I didn't know what to watch next. A Silent Voice. Now, as of right now, this is gonna be the last emotional anime I'll be talking about for a little bit. This anime has a beautiful meaning. Just treat everybody with respect, because you don't know what they're going through. Because, first off, if you bully, you suck. But yeah, that's like the main thing. Cause, and I think it was in 5th grade, they bullied this deaf girl, but then it turns out that, you know, they found each other, and he wanted to become friends with her. He even learned sign language, but the people he was with, they still bullied her, and it gets very depressing, and that's all I'm gonna say, because it's better if you just go in not knowing anything. Junji Ito Collection. So this is a mix between Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark and Goosebumps, but Japanese version. If you like that, you're gonna love this anime. I personally did when I was a kid, so I knew off the bat I was gonna put this high up on my list. Because if you don't know, it's really about short horror Japanese horror stories. Ego Hero. After being rejected, I shaved and took in a high school underwear. First off, very long title. But honestly, another emotional anime. At times. You know, like, especially learning about the backstory with Sayu. You know, about the part about her, you know, she went away and had to sell her body to live with people just to survive. And, you know, just seeing that play out honestly really hurt. Konosuba. Honestly, this is probably the funniest anime I've ever watched. Every episode had me laughing out loud, almost bawling on the floor at times. The 4 main characters, you know, Kazuma, Aqua, Darkness, and Megumi, they all play off each other so well that it's just amazing how they can even do it. Even though the plot is basic and bland, even it's like the most typical isekai of all time, where, you know, Kazuma dies and gets reincarnated and has to defeat the Demon King, blah blah blah. We heard that so many times, but it's different. Because it doesn't want to focus on that. It want to focus on more on like the comedy side and things. And that's why it's just up here a lot. Just because of how funny it is. Demon Lord Train 99 is one of the most recent animes I watched. And honestly, it was actually really good. I was genuinely surprised about it. From start to finish, the characters were very likable. The plot was really interesting about a demon lord being pretty much resurrected into Train 99 and becomes a streamer. That is like one of the weirdest plots for isekai, essentially. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, I really enjoyed it. Year Lion April. Now, all I knew going into this anime was that it was an emotional anime about somebody playing the piano and the violin. Past that, I didn't know anything else, and I highly recommend you do the same. This anime is beautifully crafted from beginning to end. The music's beautiful. And yeah, without going into the synopsis, this is all I'm going to say about it. Jalbus Reincarnation. Now, at first, I had the same reaction like Re:Zero, and I thought it was overrated, but then I was quickly wrong. I love the world building more, and remember, I'm a sucker for world building. The characters are well written. The plot is surprisingly dark at times, which, you know, if you like dark, if I like darker themes, so, you know, that's no reason why it's up here. But if I had to pick a gripe with this anime, I say I don't like how Rudia's horniness is, well, the main thing. Wandering Witch, The Journey of Elena. Another anime that didn't surprise me. So the one sole reason why it's this high is because how do they actually tell the anime? So before I explain that, let me tell you the plot real quick. The main character's name is Elena. She wants to become a witch and explore the world. That's it. She becomes a witch and just explores the world. The plot is simple, but here's the thing: the way they tell it, because each episode depicts her journey. Because it shows you each episode is at a different city now, and it has a whole different plot line and stuff like that. So off the bat, I'm world building, which I love, and also on top of that, one of the episodes, I remember it was actually so dark that I remember they had to put some kind of warning, I think, saying that this episode is gonna be dark, it has explicit material, something like that. And the fact that anime had to do that really surprises me. Yeah, I highly recommend this anime, highly underrated. Secrets of the Silent Witch. This is another recent anime that I watched, and to be fair, kind of similar to Wandering Witch. I wasn't expecting it to like it this much. But each episode had me attached and wanting more. I don't know why. I love the premise of essentially a social and anxiety mage going undercover. The main character is actually very likable, and at times I genuinely felt bad for her. Most notably, whenever her former friend came by to for the chess tournament. That I genuinely felt bad for her because she didn't do anything wrong. But outside of that, this is a rarity for me. The side characters were actually very likable. It feels like the majority of the times, the side characters and all that, you just forget about them and you just move on. And then they appear again, you're like, oh, yeah, you exist. I don't know, it didn't feel like with this. Each side character had the thing, and I loved it. And there's also a lot of comedy about her, hey, I don't want to talk, so Makini, too many losing heroines. Now I saw this one slice of life, the slice of life award for Crunchyroll, so I decided to watch it, and I was genuinely blown away by how good I loved it. The animation was really good. I genuinely could not stop watching. I remember laying down on my bed and I was looking through it, that's all, and I'm like, okay, let me watch the first episode to see how I'm gonna like it. And so I did, and next thing you know, I finished it within the next day. And now here's the thing. Each character I was genuinely attached to, and even though it boils down to just a regular slice of life, there's just something different about it, and I highly recommend it. Love is War. Honestly, let's see. This is to the point where, honestly, you could go to the past couple ones and you could still say this about me, but pretty much from this point on, these animes I still remember watching and all that, and I still love it to this day. Love is War, generally, one of the funniest animes besides Konosuba. English narrator is honestly so hilarious. Just look up some clips. You see what I mean. The plot is surprising. About two people fall in love with each other, but they don't admit it, so they want the other person to confess, and they do it in the funniest way possible. And it's just so hilarious to me. That time, I got reincarnated as a slime. Now, this anime has one of my all-time favorite characters, Rimuru. So right off the bat, this anime is going to be high up there. but this is my favorite isekai of all time. And there's one reason why. Well, two reasons. One, because of Rimuru, and two, the world building in this anime is incredible. Because unlike a typical isekai where you have to defeat a demon lord or demon king, Rimuru's cool. He just wants to build up a country. And this is why they do it so well. Like, Rimuru constantly talks about trade routes, diplomatic relationships, etc., etc. And for me personally, I have never seen an anime done that, at least in a long time. Now I could go on and on how people don't like how season 3 literally was just Rimuru talking to other leaders. I remember I love world building, and I think Slime does this the best from what I've seen. I know One Piece exists, but I haven't watched that. My Hero Academia Vigilantes. I personally enjoyed this way more than regular My Hero, even though it has one season right now with a second on the way. Let's see. Outside of that, I find the plot way more interesting, and the cast I find way more fun. And then, like, the fact that the plot's feels more darker about having to stop like drugs and all that, and also explores like how like the quirks evolved over time. And outside of that, I think it's really good. Class of the Elite. Let's see. For me personally, this anime I always enjoyed. The characters are always fascinating to me. The plot's simple in theory, but it goes extremely in depth about how like they have to be the best at school, and then they want to go up to class A, which is like the highest, and class D is like the lowest. I think that's a really cool concept. Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Now, here's the thing. I played the game before watching this anime, so I knew like the references and all that. And Cyberpunk is also one of my all-time favorite games. But here's the thing. So outside of that, really, I knew I was gonna love this anime. And man, this did not disappoint. I mean, that's a good reason why it won Anime of the Year. It really showed you that Night City never have a happy endings. Each character makes you they were super in depth, that you feel for them, you feel their emotions, you wanted them to succeed. But like I said, Night City never have happy endings. And that's like the one thing that it doesn't matter if it's the game or the anime will constantly like say to you, even if they say like directly or like some verbal ways. I think it's also on top of that, if you also say if you also play the game, then you want to say next time the references. And Jujutsu Kaisen, so very popular anime, so I know everybody heard of it, so I won't go in depth, but I will say I love the power system. That's the movie doing Rise Up here, that and the characters. Just overall, it's a really good anime. I don't think I need to describe it. Suzume. So when I was originally writing this, I finished watching it because see, I've been playing Borderlands 4 a lot, and I wanted to put something on the background. And so I always want to watch Suzume. I mean, I want to watch Your Name, but I don't have a way to. So I guess I had to find that out eventually. But yeah, Suzume was it. Let's see. Like, from beginning to end, I was just blown away. Like, from the metaphors of moving on and dealing with grief. The characters are so well written that it's honestly a masterpiece. Also, just the concept of having to close the door to stop an earthquake from happening is a really cool idea. And yes, even though it's a movie, and people don't have that much attention span anymore, I highly recommend it. Black Clover. When I first started watching anime, there was one anime movie I kept on hearing that I should watch. Your Name. Now, I don't know why, for the longest time, I just kept on putting it on the back burner. But I always wanted to watch it, and for the longest time, I never did. So I decided to, finally watch it. And it's a masterpiece. I am genuinely speechless because as the time of recording this, I just finished watching it and I am just speechless. The movie is beautifully crafted, the plot is incredible, the characters are amazing, the soundtrack is beautiful as well, the plot twist in it, oh my god. Generally, can't believe I'm about to say this, it somehow exceeded my expectations, even though they were already high. Because I heard that this movie was one of the greatest movies in anime history. And after watching it, I have to agree. Like, I genuinely enjoyed it from start to finish. And I don't think there'll ever be another anime movie that got me that hooked again. Black Clover is another one I watched with my dad, but I always loved this anime. Like, from beginning to end, I loved it. There was never a dull moment, in my opinion. I'm excited for Black Clover to come back. The magic system is really cool about where they have to use the Great Roars. The characters are fleshed out. You feel for them if something serious happens. Like most notably, Austin when he destroyed his arms, because like the way they was building up, it was like, oh yeah, no, he can never use his arms again because they're big cursed. And so, what the Black Bulls do? Literally, they all decide to look for something to help him. To Be Hero X. This anime needs to win Anime of the Year. It's for very good reason. First off, it has 3 different animation styles, to my knowledge. I love the way how they tell the story about how, like, a couple episodes are dedicated to one hero, then the next, etc., until the end where they all come together, essentially. Now, the reason why it's not in my, top 2 is honestly just because some of the heroes I just found boring. The only 2 is Dragon Boy and Ahu. They are the only 2 but I could care less about. Every other hero is incredibly written, and I want a season 2 now. Attack on Titan. Now, for the longest time, this has been my all-time favorite anime, but it has been replaced. Now, for me personally, this anime is a borderline masterpiece, and if I could lose my memories again, I want to watch this for the first time. Look, I remember I was fiending for season 4 when it was airing. I wanted each episode so bad. This is one of the few animes where it generally rewards you, like, on multiple watch, because a slight spoiler. Okay, we're good. Yeah, so like you watch it the first time through and you see it through like Aaron's POV, but then you can watch it again and you can see like the things that you missed and all that, and then you can see like like the hints about Aaron already having like Titan powers, Rhino and Bertolt, their betrayal and seeing how they build up. And like generally you would not see that if you watch it on the first time through. And they did that perfectly. The anime is extremely dark, and if you haven't watched it, go and watch it. I don't care if people say it's overrated. It is not. It is genuinely a masterpiece, and I don't even know what else to say without making this into a whole episode. Now, here we are, guys. My number 1 anime of all time. Now, if you're a long-time viewer, I already made a video about this anime, but here it is. Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Now, you must be asking yourself, why do you like Frieren so much? Well, it's simple. This is the only anime where it generally made me change the way I think about life. Like, yeah, Attack on Titan may have a way better story. Even I don't think so. Better animation. But here's the thing. The reason why Frieren changed my way of life for me is simple. The main theme is I said it in the video that I made, but the main theme is time, because for Frieren, 1,000 years, you know, she's a 1,000-year elf, and she doesn't understand human years. So when she's gone for 50 years and see that everybody has aged and Himmel has died, she realizes oh, humans have a different lifespan. I'm now changing, and that's honestly when I learned that, I literally changed the way I think about life, because I started to do things more. I push out more YouTube videos. I decided to try new things, because here's the thing, guys. Life is not guaranteed. At some point, we're all gonna die. That is a guaranteed. Even how much I hate to say it, it's the truth. We're all gonna die eventually. But the question is when. But anyway, look, like I said, I made a video about this. I'll link it up here so you can go watch it. The magic system is really cool. The characters are incredible. And yeah, guys, that's my list. Now, feel free to post me in the comments or etc. And see ya. Breathing underwater. Can't let you go now. Making it so hard. You got to know now. Ooh.